From thick friends to bitter enemies, two of South India's biggest film stars, Nayanthara and Dhanush, are involved in a very public and a very bitter battle. The both of them are feuding over a 3-second clip from Nayanthara's super hit 2015 movie Nanum Rowdy Dha, which was produced by Dhanush and directed by her then boyfriend Vicky. And Nayanthara wanted to use a 3-second clip from the movie for her Netflix documentary, Beyond the Fairy Tale Nayanthara. Now, before I'm Dhanusha Gokulan, Chief Reporter Business, and I'm joined with Manjusha Radhakrishnan, our entertainment editor. And before we get into the nitty gritties on why we think this sort of highlights the bigger issue of the kind of vicious backlash that women face when speaking up against these so-called powerful figures in the film industry. Manjusha, could you just like sort of walk us through, the main highlights of what went down, what caused this thing to blow up?
Firstly, I want to just put it out there. I think Nayanthara is the boss lady. She's the OG woman. No wonder she's called the superstar of South India, a female superstar, and she proved it as well. She's got a spine, and that's what I was impressed by this week. I mean, think about this. She's taken on Dhanush, who's like one of the most powerful like movie moguls that is there in South India. He's a producer. His father-in-law, former father-in-law was Rajnikant. He's got powerful friends. He's always surrounded by A-listers around him. And for Nayanthara, who's an outsider from the industry, to call Dhanush out for just his toxic behavior, hats off to her. I mean, there's no denying what she's done. She's taken on a very brave risk. It's all for a 3-second clip, Dhanusha. I mean, so Vicky and Nayanthara met on the sets of 2015. They worked together, sparks flew. And in this documentary, it's about their fairy tale. They're chronicling how they met, etc. for Netflix. Now, I'm sure she was paid millions for this because during the wedding, only all what we saw was just a few photographs. I mean, beautiful photographs, but we don't know what behind it. And she's a very private person. So for her to actually put herself out there, she thought that this 3-second clip on the sets of where they met, fell in love, was very important. Apparently, she asked Dhanush many times, can we use the clip? He did not respond. So finally what she did is, apparently she just used the some behind the scenes clips that you take while you're shooting, etc. on the phone, and she used it in the movie. Now Dhanush has hit back, his lawyers has hit back saying that you need to give me rupee 10 crore, which is how many in millions? You would know as a business reporter.
It's about 100 million Indian rupees.
Yeah, there you go. She's the business reporter. She's just proved it. So 100 million rupees just for those clips. And she said he's a toxic person. He harbors so much hate. And it's very unfair that he projects a different image. Whereas, this kind man, let's not have negativity, that kind of sweet guy image, guy next door image. But in reality, he's anything but. To have Nayanthara, who is also a very close friend of his, call him out on a public platform in an open letter takes a lot of courage. Now, Dhanush has not come back with it. Lawyers have just shared a copy of what they wanted in return, etc. So he has not publicly addressed her comments or her attack. It is actually an attack against an actor. And I have to say that hats off to her, because any woman, Dhanusha, who has taken on any powerful lobby in the entertainment film industry have been penalized. Think about it. Samantha Ruth Prabhu, when she got divorced with Naga Chaitanya, she was the one who was blamed for the divorce. You take on anybody or you go up against any male actor, the repercussions are quick. In fact, there was even a hashtag trending saying, let's, Nayanthara is of questionable character. Dhanusha, why do you think women, if they hit out against any powerful guys in the film industry, why are they penalized so quickly? Their characters often questioned. Are they of proper moral conduct? Why is morality brought into this? And we are South Indians, right?
Yeah, we are South Indians. So I think we are sort of like an authority on the subject about the deep-rooted misogyny that we see in our communities. So this whole issue, though misogyny, starts from home, it's a very grassroots issue. On a wider level, you see it quite prevalent in the film industry. It also goes to show how much of a pedestal that the South Indian movie-going public place our our heroes and our film stars on, right? Like, stars cannot go wrong. Like, they are held at such high moral standards. But in this particular issue between Nayanthara and Dhanush, I also think it's a very personal matter between the both of them, given I can imagine that they were good friends and they came out small misunderstanding which may have not been resolved at that stage and it blew up behind proportions.
No, but it still takes a lot of guts, right?
No,
it
no,
could have been a petty fight, like you said, an
100%.
unresolved cat fight.
Yeah, I 100% agree that Nayanthara she did something super brave to call out, a star who has the stature of Dhanush. But we have been seeing this more and more in the South Indian film industry.
We have,
like,
yes.
I think the women in the Kerala film industry set an excellent example with the whole Me Too movement that we saw a couple of months ago. All of the women who came out, defending and speaking against these massive stars, and there were repercussions. It wasn't just brushed.
They were denied work. Let's not forget Parvati was denied work. She has come out open to Gulf News many times. In fact, Parvati was the first one to come and support her, reshare Nayanthara's post, along with actors like Nazriya, Fahad Fazil's wife, which is a big deal. So very few people have, but it's also a great change. At least women are coming forward. There's a bit of sisterhood. It's not like, glacial silence, etc. At the time, they were just boycotted, right? Don't you think there's a huge shift in how things are?
Like, a couple of years ago, I don't think forget actors with the stature of Nayanthara, even your smaller stars would never speak out, right? Times have definitely changed. It has become a much safer environment for women to express themselves, talk about the kind of safety standards that are set in the industry, talk about the mistreatment that they face and they suffer, right?
Especially on a set.
Yes.
So it's very interesting. In the open letter, she actually says that even on the set, you were not happy with me. I think their disagreements or perhaps their deep-rooted animosity for each other, I think kind of stemmed from that film as well. And it kind of percolated, and over the years, like you said, it festered and it blew up today. But it's also a great way, like many women are now talking about how there should be some kind of intellectual copyrights even for actresses. She was in the movie as much.
She was,
So it's does not just, the property does not just belong to Dhanush, does it?
It was very much her film as much as it was the producers, right?
Yeah, so there should be systemic change.
Correct.
At the end of the day, who does the property belong to? And they can't fight over a 3-second clip. I mean, the pettiness of it all is what irritates me. And you know what? I have covered entertainment for like 18 years. And what I have learned and what I've experienced is stars are beautiful on the big screen. They look perfect, everything. But they can be very petty. A small review, a wrong word here and there, they keep that for years and then they show it in by denying you an interview. In this case, I'm sure Nayanthara has reached a stature where she's kind of insulated. Perhaps she doesn't care if she's boycotted as much, where she's denied
work over this issue? Was she denied
There was a time during a award ceremony of where she was receiving the award and she publicly, in a very jovial manner said, I know that Dhanush was not happy with my performance in that film and I apologize for that as well. So clearly things were not right between them. But for Nayanthara to, to put it out all in the open just a day before her documentary release. I have seen the documentary, it's no great shakes, but I have to give it to her for standing up for what she believes is right. And I think that's what.
Can I also ask you, do you think, and I might sound anti-feminist or, playing the devil's advocate here, but do you think all of this is also a ploy to ensure that, her documentary gets the eyeballs that she wants it to get?
Actually, you won't believe this. I was thinking the same. I was like, what a fantastic PR strategy. But this does her more damage. I mean, all of these actors, they look at the bigger picture. They're not going to... See, Netflix has already paid her. She's already made the money. She's going to get the views anyway because it's Nayanthara. I don't think any woman or she needs to stoop down to such a level to get publicity. She's not like the queen of reality. Sure, she's got a body of work behind her. She's one of the most low profile actors. She doesn't do interviews very often. She doesn't talk about her personal life very often. So there's a lot of interest in her. So I refuse to believe that she did this for publicity because it's very reductive to think so. Because if she had been, let's say, a Kim K of South India, then I would have given it to her. You know what? No publicity is bad publicity. That kind of thing. I don't think she needs that. But But it's interesting that you thought it. I don't think, Dhanusha, people are alone. But don't you think it's just generally amazing to see women just come out there, especially female actors taking a stand?
100%, 100%. And I think it sets like an extraordinary example for, the younger stars, or the newcomers, or even kids who are like watching these women on the silver screen as well as on their mobile phones, right? Like, oh, okay, it is a safe environment. It is a place where I can express my opinions. And yes, there is backlash, but again, there is also an army of people. Parvati, of course, she is a shining example,
She's
yeah,
fierce.
she is super fierce. So I think it kind of balances it out, though there is a lot of negative noise, banter, and a lot of
Character assassination
unnecessary character assassination on social
attacks. Yeah.
media. But at the same time, there's also this whole positive support and sisterhood, like you said, that's kind of forming up behind these women who are
Correct.
speaking out. So it's nice to see that sort of balance happening, unlike before where it was just like a one-sided,
Exactly. I don't think,
cancel thing.
yes,
Yeah.
I don't think, in the past, any woman, even if, no matter if you are an A-lister, would have taken such a daring and bold step. So,
100%, yeah.
full marks to Nayanthara. We are following this story very closely. And as always, you can log on to gulfnews.com. Our entertainment section has enough stories on this topic. Do read them and let us know if you think Nayanthara is brave or not.